Hello everyone. So normally I'd have my webcam on and normally this would not be content I record. But if you're here for my normal everyday content, go check out the Armored Warfare video. In the meantime, we're going to move on. I was asked by someone to do some videos for the Null Sec Eve market where I live. How to get involved with it, how to do it, how to generally how it functions, because it doesn't function like the high sec market. Does 0.1 OS still happen? Yes it does. People are annoying. I actually don't do that. I usually drop at least 100, if not several thousand off of the price when people try that shit. But in the meantime, we are in my captain's cabin and we are about to discuss the nullsec market. Now, over the course of this video series, I'm going to point out the 4 things you have to know about the market in order to function. First thing is how to get involved, which is what we're going on in this video. The second thing is what you need to look out for as far as opportunities. The third is having your evacuation planned, because unlike a normal capsuleer who doesn't run the market, if you run the market in nullsec, you are going to have to be able to evacuate. That means you can't have hundreds of billions in assets lying around, because trust me, no matter how many jump freighter pilots you have, you might not have time to get it all out. And fourthly, just some quick tips and tricks that I use that you might want to use to become a market seeder for your particular alliance. Yes, I said particular alliance, because this is nullsec. You're not allowed to dock everywhere. So let's get up, and I'm going to walk in here while I talk. So the whole point of the nullsec market is that it functions differently than highsec. As you can see, for my orders, I have 2.4 billion in ISK on the market, all of it here in nullsec. No buy orders whatsoever, all of it is sell, sell, sell. And in front of us is my DST, the Mastodon. And yes, I even reskinned it because I spend that much freaking time in it. But let's look at an item in the nullsec market and just, get a general feel for how things kind of work down here. Popular item for battleship fleets, 500 MN-YT compact micro warp drives. You will notice that there are some being sold everywhere. You will notice that my sell price is not near the lowest in the region. And the other thing you will notice, if you appraisal this real quick, is that these are all more expensive than JITA, because it costs money to get things down here. There are a few exceptions to the rule, but pretty much everything down here costs more. So your profit is the convenience of people not having to use jump freighters, DSTs, or other means of transportation to get stuff in. Remember, there is no Concord to protect you. So the first thing you're going to have to do, if you want to get involved in this, is you're going to have to join an alliance. Period. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to dock. Now, I'm going somewhere that it's no secret where it is. Because, well, let's just face it, if there's a Keepstar deployed, everyone knows where the Keepstar is. And that's FCON. Yes, I am a member of FCON. You can make all the FCON jokes in the comments you want to make. Go ahead. I don't mind. You are going to have to get involved with that alliance. Not only are you going to have to get involved with that alliance, you're going to have to learn all of the doctrines. Whether you're brand new to doing market or not, doctrine fitting in nullsec is your bread and butter money. So here we are in the Keepstar in Fortec GB14, FCON's capital. And here you guys can see it, the massive base that one day won't be here because someone will obviously come in and blow it up. And that's something you have to be prepared for. here is where the center of the market is. If you want to buy something, you go to 4G. Just like if you want to buy something in HiSec, you go to JITA or Amar. But generally speaking, you can find it in JITA. You'll notice that as I was clicking through things, not everything exists here. It's because there's a limited number of market seeders and there's a limited number of things we can put on the market. So capital modules are a rarity for us to have up. Instead, those are normally shipped in by the person who wants them. Another example is fleet support modules. Oddly enough, boosting ships don't get blown up that often. I'm the only order in existence for mining Vorman boosts at the moment. Eventually they'll sell, which is something else you have to remember. Null-sec marketing takes a lot more patience. But once you've gotten into your alliance, you have to learn all the market rules for your alliance. Every alliance has different rules. Some alliances have no rules. FCON's rules are as follows. You may not increase the price of anything that is going to be used for doctrine ships more than 20%. This includes putting doctrine ships on contract for alliance members. So regardless of how much it costs, if it's an alliance classification doctrine ship, such as this Scythe, everybody knows these by now because they've seen them get blown up on Z-Kill so many times it's not even funny for us. You're not allowed to charge more than 20%. So the maximum price for a Scythe is 25 mil, period. Maximum price for a Caracol is 40 mil, period. Intosis Griffin, maximum price is about 35 to 36 million, which means that you're going to see a lot of people who all have the same price for their contracts. You can make money this way. Every time a fleet with that doctrine pings out, your contracts will empty out. It's a very consistent type of money. That little bing up there indicates I got a ping. They're going on Rook Smart Bombing Roam, and only if you can use Tech 2 Smart Bombs. Cool! Hope they have fun, because that's not a normal doctrine we run. However, you will notice that certain ships, let's go to the Scythe for instance. If any corporation is worth its salt, has pre-entered these fittings. These are the fittings you have to fit to get ship replacement. That is to say, to get the alliance to pay for your ship when it explodes. You will notice it costs 20.6 million. Therefore, the maximum price that this could be sold for is 25.15 million, period. Can't sell them for more than that. If you're not okay with that kind of a profit margin, I don't know what to tell you. Because that profit margin does not include your transportation cost to get it here, or your taxes and broker fees, which do not, unlike HiSec, get reduced. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, your accounting skills and your broker relations skill is useless here. They're useful in HiSec still, but it's useless here. You're going to pay full price. Now for me personally, I keep a very, very large selection of things that I have gathered, that I have not entirely gathered by choice, that I sell. But as I am about to show you, when you're getting involved with the market, you're going to have to factor in the tax rate and broker fees again. So here's 2 items because I currently have 2 slots. I'm not the biggest and best trader in the world, but I'm willing to do a video. So, warriors are a doctrine item because virtually everyone will use them. Some people would be in trouble because that's a lot more than 20%, but it's not at the staging system, so it doesn't really matter. This is kind of the order that says you cannot charge more than this. This order is probably set by someone in FCON Militarium, i.e. Sky Team, and therefore we are all competing down here. So we'll go over here. and I keep a list of how much I paid for stuff. So for Warrior 2s, I didn't pay anything. These are from a fire sale contract, which we're about to get to. So I'm going to set this at a price I find reasonable. Put it up, just like you would in HiSec. No difference. I already have an order of gyro stabilizers, so we'll throw those back. As you can see, your number of items is kind of limited, because you have to sell what people want down here. You can't just sell random item number 12. I'll give you an example. Through a contract, fire sale contract to be precise, I wound up with a Domination Large Shield Booster. They sell down here for this much, which is kind of weird to say, but rarely. Excruciatingly rarely. So this might sit up here and never get touched, and I have to deal with that. If it doesn't get touched for the amount it sells for down here, I'll ship it up to HiSec if the order ever does manage to completely expire, or I feel like I shouldn't keep the order up anymore. Another example, Drake. There is no doctrine for Drakes. FCs request them for an FC ship occasionally. I just have it up here, just in case somebody wants it. I got it from a fire sale, which is how you get started in the nullsec market. You don't get started by shipping down a shitload of stuff and then putting it up on market like you would expect to. Instead, you go through fire sales. Now, I'll give you some examples. This contract is already closed. Somebody took it. I was considering taking it, but this is what a fire sale looks like. Unorganized, hundreds of items that you're going to have to go pick up. Hence why the DST is your best friend. First thing you're going to do with these fire sale contacts is you're going to look at where they are. Can I dock here? In the case of Blood Covenant, they are a member of Phoenix Federation. They are full blue to us. I can dock here. I've been here before. I know I can dock at the Church of Anger Kid. This one's still in progress. Good. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to check Eve appraisal, because you have to base it off of the JITA price, since that is where your jump freighter service is generally going to go to. And we're going to get to jump freighter services momentarily. So, this is worth 534 million ISK if I went up to JITA and sold it on immediate right now. Since I can't be in JITA most of the time to monitor unless you have an alt, you're just going to have to take the immediate sell price. Next thing about this, I notice, is that the vast majority of the volume is the Vexor Navy issue and the Stratios. And the rig slots are fitted to the rigs. If I want to reasonably move this stuff without use of a jump freighter, I'm going to have to lose those rigs, because I will have to repackage the ships to move this. You look at the rigs, you see T1 and T2 rigs. That is going to be a lot of the money here. How much is a lot? Well, according to Eve Appraisal, if I took this at 420 million and had to destroy the rigs to move it, so I don't have a jump freighter, I don't have the 7 billion, nor the skill training investment to get a jump freighter. I use a DST. I will always use a DST as far as I'm concerned, because I don't want to use a jump freighter. But even then, I couldn't reasonably sell the Stratios or the Vexor Navy issue with the rigs they have equipped, so those automatically go in. The Purifiers are not Doctrine fit, because I noticed that these small overclock rigs are there, and those do not go on the Purifier Doctrine. At least I don't think they do. Let's see what our up-to-date Doctrine says. And you will be checking this Doctrine a lot. Yeah, no. Those don't go there. So those are a loss automatically if I want to resell these ships, because people will not buy them if they're doctored fit, or if they do and they get destroyed and then they don't get SRP, it's my fault. I will get blamed for it by them and they won't buy stuff from me anymore. So that throws those out. So even if I wanted to keep it, it wouldn't matter. Lastly, the Stratios is fit for an individual with Trimark armor pumps for extra armor, a auxiliary nano pump, and an anti-explosive pump. I wouldn't fit a Stratios buffer tank, much less buffer and active tank, as this has been fit. So its rigs are gone. I'm losing close to 170 million in rigs by destroying them. This contract goes from being valued at 534.78 million to 360 mil, well below the 420 million buyout price. So, what do? We're obviously not going to take this contract, as is. But there is one thing you can do. Contact the person selling it. So you guys are going to get to see live me contacting the person. Auction contract. Hi there. The ships in the contract are not doctrine fit or are non-doctrine ships. In order to sell them, I am going to have to destroy the rigs. This drastically reduces its value. Second, I need to come and get it, because you are going to have to take the time and effort to go get this. For me to go from 4G to here, it's 11 jumps in my DST. One way. And YF has this annoying thing that we're all going to learn about very soon. And that is that there is no direct jump bridge route to get to the Church of Anger Kid. You see these green lines? You won't see these in HiSec or in a HiSec Corp. These are jump bridges. Basically, what these green lines indicate, for instance here in 4G, there's a jump bridge. Goes to here. You take the jump bridge, and you don't have to pass between any of the jumps between point A and point B. My DST takes these jump bridges a hell of a lot. Matter of fact, I live somewhere else. I take a jump bridge to get to Fortac G. All the time. That's why I use a DST, because of the reduction in jump fatigue. You're going to be constantly using jump bridges. I have to come get it. According to Eve appraisal, without the rigs, this is worth 360 million. I am willing to pay 300 mil for these ships and items due to transportation costs, my personal time, and transport for non-doctrine items that do not sell on market down here. And I'm explaining my situation. Like, you have to just be honest with these people. You can't lie to them. That even if they are fire sailing and leaving, they're still your alliance members. You can't be a dick to them and expect to succeed down here. So I'm going to break this down for you. I'm going to have to transport this up to HiSec. According to our transportation service, MuleCon, that's going to run me 36 million. My personal time is worth 60 million per hour doing other activities. I'll get to that in a bit. And transportation for non-doctrine items. Instead of that, we already covered transportation and broker/taxes, tax fees, which for 360 mil is going to run me about 27 million. So overall, my profit is not going to be a lot. Actually, I'm wrong about transportation costs. It's not, there's a dot there. It's going to be about 30 million profit for this 360 mil worth of stuff. If you are willing to accept that, can you privately contract this to me, and I will take it, no questions. If you want to negotiate a better price, make me an offer. If you don't want this, I understand, and hope you find a buyer. Fly safe. Right above. And you put the contract into the email so you can see it. And there you go. So that's an example. This is a good fire sale contract. There aren't Tech 2 rigs here that I'm going to have to lose to transport this. Looks like this goes to a medium ship, but they're not in rig slots. So I'm not losing them to transport this. This was an incredibly good fire sale contract, especially with the 2 geckos, which are hugely rare down here. So rare, in fact, that they sell for a lot. More than you would expect. And they actually move. Up in Jita, these 2 geckos would sell for 70 mil each. Down here, you're getting 10 mil more. Which brings us to the next phase of these contracts. See, I was going to grab that contract and then come back when I went and picked it up. But now, since I'm not, here's the next phase. So down here are sell items. These are items, this is my stock, my inventory, which is down really low at this point. Up here we see I have some packaged ship holes as well in my inventory. These are things I'm selling, which again, at this point is really low. And that is because I have arranged to ship something up through MuleCon. 2 billion plus worth of assets. I expect that this will take a couple days before somebody takes it and then moves it. The thing here is you want to get items and then immediately decide, once you have brought them back to your market hub in NullSec, what you're keeping and what you're selling instantly. The moment it hits your item hanger, it either goes into this bin or this bin. MuleCon bin for shipping up, sell item bin for keeping. Your fire sales are your bread and butter for getting your initial inventory. You are going to have to do other activities for capital. You're going to have to rat, you're going to have to mine, you might do player interaction, you might do other things. Because a lot of the time, as you can see, my wallet's not flashing like crazy. Does my wallet flash a lot? Yes. Does it flash near as much as a high-sec trader? Probably not. I probably also don't have the sheer number of market slots to make that happen. But in the end, I have to decide what can be sold down here and what simply will not sell down here. So here we have these Scordite mining crystals. They move occasionally, not all the time. So taking that into account, I'm going to put it up probably for under these two, because while 4G is the center of the market, there are other places that have market hubs, and you have to figure out how to compete with them, because for a lot of people, they're not necessarily going to come all the way to 4G to get it unless there's a better price. So that's something else you have to factor in. I'll give you another example of an item that's really common. The compact Afterburner. As you can see, it's almost the cheapest in 4G. There's one little holdout here at 08 Tech-In. But as you can also see, Chaos City's another market hub. There's 55 units there. The Promised Haven and the Church of Anger Kid are market hubs as well. And there's units for sale there. And you have to compete with them because people are going to go to where it's most convenient to buy things. They're not necessarily going to come all the way to 4TAC-G if they don't have to. Another example here in which I am not competing very well is the prototype siege cannon. This is a doctrine item. It has a limit on what the upper price can be. So I've put it here at near the limit of what the upper price can be, because eventually it'll sell whenever they ping for a doctrine that requires it. Moving down, let's find a non-doctrine item. You know what? Strontium. I know I have some strontium up here. This is an item that a lot of people have. A lot of people end up with this because of ice mining. As you can see, market is pretty varied in prices, all the way up to 10,000 and as low as 4 grand. I have to compete with, well, basically everybody. So we're going to lower my price in order to make my price the cheapest in the station again. I didn't actually have to mine these. I got them from a fire sale. Which brings us to your other way of getting stuff in. I mentioned MuleCon before. MuleCon is a service that FCon offers. That service determines how much it's going to cost you to ship stuff. MuleCon charges $750 per M3 to ship to JITA. On top of this, I have to pay a certain amount to get my collateral fee. That's referred to as my insurance cost. So if I want $2 billion in insurance, it's going to cost me 20 mil flat to get that $2 billion in insurance. That compensates the pilot for the additional risks they're taking by transporting a high-value cargo. Normally, your minimum insurance is 100 mil, which is free. This also is how you prevent somebody from running off with your stuff, just like for Hauler's channel, in that they can fail out of the contract and say that, you know, X was lost, and then they run off with your stuff when you get up to cargo sizes that are more valuable than your hauling, or your hauler in this case. But that is the very, very basics of getting involved in the market. Fire sales and MuleCon. That is to say, fire sales and your jump freighter service. Your jump freighter service will bring down items that you're going to sell that are higher value, such as these 10 Vexor Navy issues that I've been selling, which took about a week to clear. It's a very popular ratting ship, and down here, as you can see, they go for 91 million. Up in HiSec, we all know they go for 60 mil. I'm not actively trying to cheat my Alliance members, but that's just what these things sell for down here. As you can see from the price history, they get up there. Now recently, because of me seeding the market, I've kept them down to the 90 mil mark because I'm willing to take that. I would be willing, I'd say, to even take as low as 80 million if I really wanted just to blow this price out. But I don't at the moment. Other items like Viator, I have to compete with this guy. These don't sell that often. These don't move that often. I bought it on a fire sale, and I totally flubbed that, and I'll have to do it again later. But you have to look for popular writing items, and you have to look for items you can sell down here, and stuff you can't sell down here, you have to ship. That's the bare bones basics. Your DST will become your best friend. You're learning the jump bridge network will be something that it's pivotal and key. And lastly, learning your own individual market. There's a lot of tools you can use for this, and we'll be talking about how to learn your market for nullsec next. But in the meantime, you have to join the alliance that you're going to be shipping for. Almost no alliance I know of is going to take you on a whim that you're a decent trader and you're not a spy and you're not here to blow them up. Because people like Friendly Alt are sitting in 4G cloaky camping it, waiting for a chance to strike. So, welcome to Paranoia 101. Is it less dangerous than HiSec? Yeah, I could say that. I've never lost my DST. But that's the initial involvement. Pick an alliance, join that alliance. You're now supplying that market. Your market is smaller. Your market has more niches to it. But everything in your market can be sold for a lot more than what it will sell for in high sec. Everything. And you will be looking out for fire sale contracts every single day to look for new items that you can move, that you can sell, or that you can renegotiate the price for. And it's up to you to be willing to go get them. So that's everything I have to say about the initial involvement. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more stuff by me, you can subscribe. I will hopefully be finishing this video series by the end of the week by showing you guys the other aspects of the null sec market that you have to live with, and then leave room for questions in the comments. In the meantime, I'll talk to you all later.